President Bush sees for himself the pain and suffering of the starving children of Somalia. In this country, a deadly New Year's Eve ritual and a new push to stop it. An eye on America tonight, cracking down on drivers who have no respect for the law or your life. This is the CBS Evening News. Good evening. I'm Paula Zahn, sitting in tonight for Dan Rather. President Bush is spending the night on a U.S. Navy ship off Somalia, a safe distance from the gunfire being exchanged by rival groups in the capital city of Mogadishu. The president got a close-up look today at the military operation he ordered, and he was clearly moved by what U.S. troops are doing. Giselle Fernandez begins our coverage of the rescue in Somalia.
It was the children of Somalia who welcomed President Bush to their suffering, ravaged country. The greeting was as unprecedented as his mission here. Some of the world's poorest children meeting the world's most powerful man. Their jubilance astounding after having endured so many months of misery. In a Red Cross refugee camp called the Place of the Bones, the president saw firsthand the severe hardship that prompted Operation Restore Hope.
What would that child be suffering from? Undernourished. Malnutrition.
2 months ago, most of these children were starving. 1 or 2 still die here every week. But things are much better, the president was told, since the arrival of the troops.
Doing something to help other people is the best of America, and I tell you, I get very emotional.
Under as much security as possible in a country terrorized by guns, the president traveled by helicopter to the former U.S. Embassy, where his armed forces welcomed him with cheers.
Thank you for serving the greatest country on the face of the earth. We are very, very proud of you and very, very grateful to each and every one of you. May God bless you, and may you all have a happy new year. Thank you so much.
Their commander-in-chief then plunged into the crowd of soldiers, joking, talking football, and posing for pictures. Then the president concluded his first day by addressing the sailors aboard the USS Tripoli and used the opportunity to defend America's new role in the world.
When you see what you have seen and what I saw today, I'm absolutely convinced that we've done the right thing.
But hours after Mr. Bush retired to the ship, clan warfare again broke out. Blasts of mortar and artillery fire exploded across the sky. No Americans were involved in the fighting, the worst to break out here since the arrival of troops. But the outbreak on the night of the president's first day here only underscores the reality that food alone in Somalia won't bring peace. Giselle Fernandez, CBS News, Mogadishu.
Tomorrow, the president is scheduled to fly into the heart of Somalia's famine district. He's going to a town ravaged by starvation, disease, and war, where U.S. troops have turned desperation into hope. Bill Lagatuda reports from Baidoa.
The children of Baidoa all know America. It's the country that rode to their rescue. When President Bush rides through Baidoa, if he peers out from the troop carrier he'll be sitting in, he'll see a miracle. A town terrorized and starving to death is coming to life again.
People are coming out, businesses are starting to open.
And most importantly, the children are eating. This feeding center was a death camp 2 weeks ago. Now even the skinniest are smiling because the Marines protect the food convoys. And if he looks over here, the commander-in-chief will see one of his men driving the bulldozer that's helping relief workers build the first new school.
No Americans is no hope as far as we're concerned.
What President Bush will see here in Baidoa is wherever the Americans have invaded, life has become a little more sane. What he should hear is the question all of Somalia is asking. What happens when the troops go home? How will the food keep getting where it's supposed to in this country where the only traffic cop works for free and even then needs help? The president should know, if he doesn't already, that Somalia is a country that's been stripped bare. This is the biggest power station. This, the country's parliament. This is the cleanest hospital in Mogadishu, with an exhausted American volunteer running the emergency room.
Not enough scissors, not enough clean water. I mean, clean sterile water is a big-time item in a place like this.
In a place like this, where the clans have been the only real government, Mr. Bush may be trying to figure out which warlord is the least of many evils, and should the American government give its blessing to one of them. And when he gets a look at some of the confiscated battle wagons, someone should tell the president there are countless others secreted away, waiting for the day the soldiers leave. Tomorrow, though, Mr. Bush may run into this. Grateful Somalis bearing shovels, not guns, off to build that school in Baidoa.
The outlook for Somalia is positive at this time. We can deal with today. Tomorrow is an uncertainty.
How long would you like these troops to stay?
10 to 15 years, perhaps.
If he's listening tomorrow, Mr. Bush will hear a lot of wishful thinking. Hope has been restored. The hard part is living up to the expectations. Bill Agatuto, CBS News, Baidoa.
The summit between the president and Boris Yeltsin this weekend is being moved from a Black Sea resort because of bad weather there. They will meet instead in Moscow to sign a landmark treaty cutting strategic nuclear arms. Getting a reduction of small arms fire is a priority in many American cities this New Year's Eve. CBS News correspondent Bill Whitaker has more about that.
It's the sound of the season. Americans blasting in the new year, shooting guns off into the air. A dangerous ritual. A year ago tonight in Houston, a stray bullet struck Joel Files in the face.
I was at a party, New Year's Eve, and they're shooting guns up in the air, and one came down and hit me in the eye.
In recent years, hundreds of Americans have been injured or killed in the hail of New Year's gunfire. In Jacksonville, Florida, 3 years ago, Nathaniel Wright was shot by police while firing off his holiday rounds. In San Jose, California, last year, 4-year-old Jesus Conchas fatally shot himself in the heart with the gun his grandfather had used to fire in the new year. This year, the court has ordered grandfather Nicholas Conchas to make TV ads urging his neighbors to lay down their guns. Here in Los Angeles, the city has been waging a 3-year war against New Year's gunfire, and it seems to be working. With stiff enforcement of gun laws and a massive PR campaign, LA has gone without New Year's shooting deaths since the offensive began, and police wanted quiet tonight.
The bullet that goes up does come down. It can still injure, it can still maim, and it can still kill.
And Dallas police are beefing up patrols tonight, too.
We urge wives to try to control their husbands, and parents to control their children, and children to help control the behavior of their parents.
In Detroit today, citizens held a rally pledging not to fire guns tonight. Joel Files, now blind in one eye, hopes people get the message tonight.
And the bullet has to come down. It does. People don't ever think that, but it really does come down and hit you.
Turning New Year's celebration into tragedy. Bill Whitaker, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Still ahead on the CBS Evening News, the real-life Home Alone parents out of jail but still not talking. And the fitness fad that's all about fighting back.
Help, can someone take my pain and make it disappear?
Finally, someone understands all pain is not the same. New aspirin-free Bayer Select. Yes, aspirin-free.
For the help where it hurts.
Bayer Select. Not 1, but 5 aspirin-free products. Sinus, headache, nighttime, menstrual, and arthritis pain relief. Because all pain is not the same.
For the help where it hurts. With Bayer Select.
Our company, MCI, is about ready to reach our 10 millionth friends and family customer.
As soon as we hit 10 million.
Something so great is going to happen.
I can't tell you how excited we are to get 10 million customers.
We're going to get there pretty soon.
Stay tuned.
Some additional savings for the holiday savings program. For thousands of great values, these are the best weeks to buy at Sears. This Craftsman half-horsepower garage door opener is only $129.99 while quantities last. Or for only $199.99, have the pros from Sears install it. But hurry, Sears' best weeks to buy end soon.
The mother and father who went on vacation in Mexico and left their 2 young daughters home alone in Illinois are now out of jail, but they are not out of trouble. As Linda Tyra reports, they still have a lot of explaining to do.
While the parents in the much publicized Home Alone case are free today after posting bond, the mystery surrounding them seems only to have deepened. David and Sharon Shue have been charged with child cruelty and abandonment, charged with leaving their 9- and 4-year-old daughters home alone in suburban Chicago while they spent the holidays in Mexico. Their attorney says the Shues have been convicted before they've even been tried, and their version of events will clear them.
If my clients, in the final word, have done something that is incorrect, that doesn't make them vilified and hated. And we're saying they haven't done anything wrong.
While the Shues have yet to break their silence, Mrs. Shue's father, who hasn't seen his daughter in 8 years, says the whole family has been put through the ringer.
To me, it didn't really make any sense. I couldn't figure it out myself. I think both of them need psychiatric care, and both of the children do too. And I think that there's somewhere down the line, they should get their act together.
After social workers learned the girls were alone, 9-year-old Nicole Shue and her sisters stayed with a grandmother over Christmas. Their parents reportedly left behind food and a note telling the girls what to eat, but not much more.
Yeah, it was quite scary. Sometimes it was and sometimes not.
Meanwhile, the Shues' home sits empty, while the couple awaits a court hearing next week. The Shues have been barred for now from seeing their daughters who've been put in a foster home. Their attorney promises the full story will come out later. Linda Tyra, CBS News, New York.
As we head into the new year, there are nearly 3 million more of us than there were a year ago. The Census Bureau estimates that when the clock strikes midnight, the population of the United States will be 256,561,239. Now from around the world, more CBS News. In Hong Kong, New Year celebrations got out of control. The police say about 20 people were crushed to death as thousands of revelers stampeded through a nightclub district. In Sarajevo, the UN Secretary General was booed as he toured the city devastated by civil war. Demonstrators want Western military intervention to break the siege by Serbian forces, but the Secretary General favors a negotiated peace. In Washington, the FDA is proposing new labeling rules for bottled water, now a $2 billion industry in this country. The rules will set strict standards for labeling water as mineral, spring, purified, or distilled. And in Hernando County, Florida, 2 mobile homes are caught in the path of a giant, expanding sinkhole. It is 100 feet wide and growing. Stay with us now for more of the CBS Evening News, including the neo-Nazis of Germany and the opposition building against them.
Well, only a few hours left. Just enough time for a few final resolutions. One more thing. Happy New Year.
You're looking at the birth of an entirely new form of antacid. New Mylanta gel caps. Easy to swallow with absolutely no chalky taste. The potency of Mylanta antacid now in a gel cap. My doctor said Mylanta.
I like to visit my grandma. She's pretty nice. She always tells us these neat stories. She likes to make us cookies, too. She'd come over our house more often, but my mom says she has a hard time walking sometimes. But when I was in the play at school, she was there. It was great.
Over 16 million Americans suffer from the pain of common arthritis. But with the help of Tylenol and regular exercise, it doesn't seem to keep grandmas like Myra Bedford from being the best friend to a boy named Robert and his little brother Charles.
I love my grandma. I hope she lives forever.
For arthritis pain relief, Tylenol. It helps.
Can you work all week and wind up owing the boss $5? If you're picking oranges for some big companies, you can. Sunday on 60 Minutes.
Europe has already rung in the new year, and with it, a new Europe. As the 1st of January, 1993, the European community is officially a single marketplace. Traders can now move most goods freely among the 12 EC nations without going through customs or paying duties. While Western Europe was coming together, nearby Czechoslovakia was coming apart. At midnight, the nation split into separate Czech and Slovak republics. The divorce was peaceful. It comes just 3 years after the so-called Velvet Revolution that ended communist rule in Czechoslovakia. Europe's biggest power is still trying to escape the evils of its past. 2 years after East and West combined to form a new Germany. CBS News correspondent Barry Peterson has the last in our series of special reports, New Germany, Old Hatreds.
We wanted it to look like a camera was present when it happened, to make it look very real.
Stop, it says. Stop the violence. Advertising executive Reinhard Abels created this ad campaign to make fellow Germans feel the fear of the mob, to make them want to fight back.
We thought it would be necessary to waken people up, say, well, stand up, get on your feet, do something. It's high time.
Homeless. And Germans are getting to their feet. 1 million throughout the country have protested the rise of neo-Nazism. Industry is leading the charge because it needs 300,000 foreigners to keep assembly lines rolling. Industrialist Hans-Peter Steele says if the foreigners are chased away, all Germany will suffer.
What we need is a very firm stand against those violators, against those people who are against foreigners, and we need that fast.
Not everyone is willing to publicly stand up for Germany's image. Mercedes-Benz, which has an aggressive anti-racism program, declined our request for an interview. With American sales slumping, Mercedes said even to discuss violence might be bad for business. But this battle for democracy demands the courage to speak out. Inge Deutschkron teaches school children about her days in a Nazi concentration camp.
A criminal called Adolf Hitler took over this country and did terrible criminal things. This I want them to understand so that it doesn't happen again.
With this new wave of violence against foreigners, it is happening again, despite all the demonstrations and protests.
The outcome is that the whole world is now thinking again that our country is, falling back into the dark days.
To oppose the dark days, they chant Nazis out. But even the Germans fear there are not enough voices, not enough people with courage to stop the return to Germany's Nazi past. Barry Peterson, CBS News, Stuttgart.
Coming up next, Eye on America. Tonight, drunken drivers out of court and right back on the road.
When your sinus and nasal congestion feels this bad, what can you do? Last year, you wanted to call the doctor. Last year, you wanted a prescription. But this year, Tavis D in its full prescription strength is available without a prescription. Just one tablet helps relieve 12 hours worth of painful congestion and sneezing.
Guess what? I'll be there after all.
Tavis D. One tablet, 12 hours, and now no prescription.
$10 million next month from American Family. Don't just dream about it. When you see my picture in your mail, be sure to enter. Marjorie Godzik did. Guess whose dream came true?
I'm set for life.
Your dreams can come true, too. Next month, you a multimillionaire this fast. $10 million guaranteed to be awarded just weeks from now. $10 million that can be all yours. Don't just dream about it. Enter today.
Introducing Maxwell House Light. It tastes as rich as Maxwell House coffee, but only has half the caffeine. So rich, you'll just think of it as Maxwell House. New Maxwell House Light. All the rich taste, half the caffeine.
Presenting the 8-calorie cookie. The 8-calorie ice cream scoop. Or an entire dessert that's 8 calories. Sugar-free Jell-O gelatin with 100% NutraSweet. There's always room for sugar-free Jell-O.
Happy holidays from CBS This Morning.
Nearly 2 million people in this country were arrested last year for driving under the influence. For many of them, it was not the first time. Over and over, drunken drivers are ignoring the law and the safety of everyone on the road. From South Florida, Reed Galen reports tonight's Eye on America.
How much you had to drink tonight?
2 drinks.
A police video, the evidence.
To your right arm. Whoa, you okay?
Of an ordinary Friday night. Another potential tragedy averted by Captain Jeff Nelson's Broward County DUI squad.
If his license was taken away, what's to stop him from putting a key in the ignition of a car and driving? He'll take the chance.
But of course, a convicted drunk driver who takes that chance is sharing it with everyone else on the road.
Your fine is $1,000. You have to pay court costs.
Most of the defendants in DUI court this morning have been here before.
We have a couple files here.
Or at least been charged with DUI before. Judges in Dade and Broward counties say close to a third of drunk driving defendants don't even bother to show, ignoring the law.
10 days jail.
Ignoring their convictions.
50 hours of community service.
Ignoring the warrants issued for their arrest.
It says to me that we are living in a relatively quite lawless society. And the people where it matters the most are ignoring the law. And we've got to do something. And when I say we, I mean the community.
I don't want to go out and kill myself or anybody else. The laws, no, I've never really been worried necessarily about the actual enforcement part.
Even after a conviction, drunk drivers routinely walk out of court after losing their licenses, get in their cars, and drive away. This man has 3 previous convictions. He has just been arraigned on a 4th DUI charge. Dade County alone has more than 10,000 arrest warrants outstanding for people who either never showed up in court or violated the conditions of their probation. No one is looking for them. Like departments everywhere, there isn't enough manpower to go chasing people whose original crime, after all, was technically a misdemeanor.
So you leave the courthouse tonight and you get in your car and you get on I-95. Are you thinking about how many drunk drivers there are out there that are still driving?
I certainly am. I know. I am very sensitive to that. I have children.
The situation is equally dangerous, but a little different in neighboring Broward County.
8,791 current active warrants.
Because Captain Nelson and his deputies spend hours upon hours of their own time researching old warrants and tracking the people down.
You remember being arrested for DUI in the past?
Ignoring the court is a kind of denial, Nelson says, like alcoholism, like thinking you can drive just as well when you've been drinking.
How you doing, John?
Yeah.
Step outside. I'm Deputy Career of the Sheriff's Office. Come outside, talk to you a second.
John was guilty of an injury accident.
Well, I never drove drunk again. I took it serious enough not to do it again.
But not seriously enough to finish paying a fine or continue reporting to his probation officer.
Well, back then I didn't really care, you know. I didn't really give a care. All I wanted to do was get high and do my thing.
Nelson isn't forgiving because, he says, the system already has been. The deputies devote their own time to this because they have families too.
1 down and 8,000 to go. I've seen so many people that have been maimed, injured, small children. I've pulled small children from vehicles. Sometimes you feel like you're taking the water out of Lake Okeechobee with a thimble, and you work for days and days taking that water out of the lake.
I will push the bike home, please.
Not tonight, Keith.
And then Friday night it rains, and sometimes you feel like there went all your work for the entire month. But you can't stop there. You have to keep forging on, and we will forge on.
This New Year's Eve, there is rain in the South Florida forecast. In Miami, Reed Galen for Eye on America.
My doctor said Habitrol.
Habitrol.
It's a nicotine patch.
That's the one.
For information, call 1-800-685-2000. Habitrol. Ask your doctor about Habitrol Nicotine Transdermal System. It's only available by prescription.
You should call your doctor.
Dear Folgers, I run a bed and breakfast. When I overslept one morning, the Folgers switch saved my reputation. The percolator wasn't even set up. So I secretly switched Folgers crystals for the brewed coffee I normally serve.
This is delicious.
Well, the taste and aroma must have fooled them, because they were shocked when I revealed the switch and joked about sounding like one of your restaurant commercials.
Folgers Crystals, proven to surprise fresh brewed coffee drinkers.
Sincerely, Janet Turley.
Thank you.
There's an ingredient in Efferdent you may not expect.
antibacterial Efferdent, made with Arm & Hammer baking soda. Leaves dentures baking soda fresh and clean.
Flowers, check. Balloons, we're all set. Okay, let's go.
All across America, we've surprised people just like you.
Oh, no.
Is this a joke or what?
People have heard about us,
Oh, man, I see this on TV.
but sure don't expect us to knock on their door.
On TV, yes, but I never thought it would happen to us.
We're the Prize Patrol from Publishers Clearinghouse, and we could surprise you with $10 million soon.
If you've been hiding from nighttime cold medicines, try Robitussin Night Relief.
This is different, dear.
It has no alcohol, unlike that other, which has 25% alcohol. New Robitussin Night Relief, nighttime cold medicine from a name you trust.
My name is Kelly Lewis. I'm with MCI Customer Service. I'm really excited, folks. We're about to hit 10 million friends and family customers.
That means 10 million smart Americans are saving lots of money.
There are going to be a lot more surprises ahead.
Stay tuned.
So, what will American women be doing for kicks in 1993? Well, there's a possible trendsetter coming your way from California. Cindy Kennard has a report that pulls no punches.
Their role model is Catwoman, punching and kicking her way into your heart. But for these Los Angeles women, punching and kicking are exercise.
It gets the body in shape real fast. My whole body moves. I love that.
Roundhouse. This is a sport of kickboxing, a combination of boxing,
left hook. Good.
and martial arts.
Nice.
And California women are flocking to it.
She just let out a lot of aggression. I think sweat is sexy. We feel like
Reebok's West Coast trend spotter is on the case. They've already got a prototype shoe.
The West Coast, Southern California, definite hotbed of fitness activities. And I think it's going to take off in other areas of the country as people become more informed.
Left, right, go. And it's begun making its way to New York.
Left, front kick. Right. Ouch. The woman of the 90s is a strong, capable, confident woman. But yet she can still have her femininity.
And what are men saying?
They just go, wow. And they're like, wow.
But kickboxing offers women more than most California-born fitness crazes, more than just looking good. It's a chance to fight back.
What you want to feel is you got to feel ribs. You want to be able to think. You want to break those ribs.
Kickboxing is also about self-defense.
Boom, as hard as I can.
A way for women to protect themselves.
We can also be strong physically and here.
That's what drives another kickboxing role model, five-time world champ Kathy the Punisher Long.
They see that and they go, I've always wanted to do that. Okay, I'm going to take that step. They're becoming a little more brave.
A little more brave, a little more bold. The Fighting Women of Kickboxing, coming soon to a gym near you. Cindy Kennard, CBS News, Los Angeles.
That is the CBS Evening News for tonight. I'm Paula Zahn, sitting in for Dan Rather. Hope to see you tomorrow on CBS This Morning. Good night and have a Happy New Year, everybody.
Experience CBS News.
Eye on your health.
Eye on your money.
Eye on your children.
Eye on the environment.
Eye on crime.
Eye on America.
Only on the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather.
This is CBS.
The 14th Annual Toyotathon Year-End Challenge is